Show. Open phones this hour, whatever you'd like to chat about, 989-752-6111, the number to call and get the conversation going, as we do regularly here on the program. And we'd be happy to chat with you. A couple of things I've pulled down. I wanted to start talking about Social Security a little bit. There was an article today in the Free Press, and the headline was 2026 Social Security boost expected as tariff-driven inflation fears grow. Don't know how much yet. Don't have the official number of the COLA. The last we heard a while back was 2.7%. That was in mid-August. But we don't know what's going to happen as the year progresses toward the end because of tariff inflation and other factors. So it could be higher. Now, this past year, those of us receiving Social Security received a 2.5% boost, down from 3.2% in 2024. It could go back up. Here is the other part of this conversation that we're not having, though. I have not yet heard any party, political party, or spokesman for a party tell us exactly how they plan to save Social Security. Heard a lot of, lip service about it. But where is the plan? I mean, I have my ideas on how to do it. I think, for example, the retirement age ought to be 70 at least, because you look at the actuarial tables and how they've progressed over the years and how much longer we're living because of improved health care and what have you. We're outliving it. So I think the retirement age has to be moved up. And realistically, Social Security was never meant to be your full retirement. It was a safety net. But today, for many people, particularly those who could have started taking it at 65 but held off and took it at 70, it's a retirement. It's amazing how much money comes out of Social Security. So I think in the future there's going to have to be adjustments. However, as I've also said in the past, I don't think any of those adjustments will affect those of us today who get Social Security. If there's a reduction in payments, if there's an increase in when you can start taking it, will not impact any of us who are on it. And the reason I say that, we are a significant voting bloc. I don't think they're going to mess with us. But something's going to have to be done. No two ways about it. All right, let's head to the phones this morning. And Jean is in Bay City. Jean, good morning.
Good morning. On the news this morning, they're talking that Russia is now sending drones over Poland.
Yeah, which Poland shot down, right?
Right. Russia's being very aggressive. Way back at the beginning of the Ukraine war, I think Biden made a huge mistake by not sending planes and heavy war material immediately to Ukraine. I mean, now look where we are. Mm-hmm. We're in a big mess. And here the government rolls out the red carpet to Putin, and see what it got us. He's now more aggressive than ever.
Well, in some ways, that's a good thing, and I'll tell you why. Because it proves your point. If we hadn't done that, we wouldn't know. And now we know. We know he can't be trusted.
I hope we know. I keep getting my hopes up that we'll start showing some mercy to Ukraine and helping them. And I every time I think it's gonna turn out good, it doesn't. I hope that you're right now that something's going to be done about it.
Well, I hope so too. And you know, this is the second. I think this is the second time Russia's had an incursion into Poland. I think a few months ago they accidentally did it, and I think. I don't know. I can't speak for Putin, obviously. I don't know if this was intentional or accidental. Who knows? The fact that it happened, though, is enough to wake people up and say, woo.
You know, he's one of the most evil men in the world. But
why are
we are, we've got these ICE agents beating up.
No, don't go there.
Well, you know, when I watched this guy doing lawn work, been here 20-some years, I know each ICE person is different, but in that instance, they picked him up, sprayed stuff in his eyes, and he's laying helpless on the ground, and one of the ICE agents hit him in the head 3 times. And then it turned out his 3 sons were in the Marines. You know, I know each agent is different, each guy is different, but when you see things like that, it makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you see him arresting tons and tons of illegal aliens who have criminal records.
But
and,
I mean,
look. Listen.
No,
the same thing is in the police departments. You know, every now and then we get a story about an officer who exceeds his authority, mistreats a citizen. They don't represent the tens of thousands of police officers, men and women, who put the uniform on every day and go to work every day and protect you and me. And nor does one ICE agent represent the tens of thousands of ICE agents doing their job every day.
Do you agree that the men that are criminals, that illegals that are criminals and gang members, that probably out of all the immigrants, it's probably around 30% or less? And
maybe those that are gang members, yes, but those with criminal history, I think the number is a lot higher than that.
Well, for the ones that did come here to work and have a better life, you know, they're all being very, very mistreated.
Well,
I mean, you know, you're throwing out the good with the bad. Like
Gene, no. Remember how they got here. They broke the law. That was their introduction to the United States. They broke our law.
Okay.
By coming here illegally. There is a legal path. There is a legal path in many places across the southern border. Let me finish. There's a legal path across many places at the southern border where you can come into this country, request asylum, and be taken in. If you cross our borders illegally, your introduction to our country is an illegal act.
They have reduced the amount of judges that are okaying people to come in, illegals to come in.
There I agree with you. They need to do better.
Reduce the amount of judges by over 100.
But here's the thing.
So
Gene.
It's almost impossible for them to get in here legally right now.
So it's difficult. It should be. Now here's the thing. And I'm going to leave you with this.
Well,
I'm going to listen to me. You can't.
There's our laws. We have our laws,
and they broke them.
There's also God's law.
They broke our laws.
What is more important? Men are supposed to take care of their wives and children.
All right.
If they're in a dangerous place and they try to bring their family to a safer country, they're doing what God tells men to do in the Bible, to take care of their family. And if they're breaking people's laws and following God's law, what is more important?
Your southern border, because without it, you don't have a country. Period.
I agree.
Well, that's it then.
A
That's the
mistake
end
to
of it
let
then.
all of them in there, but to verbally and physically abuse the ones that came here
All right.
just to have a better life.
I'm going to leave you with this, Gene. Gene, time tells me I have to leave you, but I'm going to leave you with this. Congress after Congress, administration after administration has failed to address the immigration system in this country. It needs to be fixed. We need more judges. Maybe we need more points of entry. One way or another, it needs to be fixed.
Right.
But no Congress and no administration has tackled it. Let me know when they do. I got to run because I got to take a break. I got to run. I have to go by. When I say I have to run, Gene, when I say I have to run, I have to run. We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Jen.
And I'm Kevin.
You know, today we're asked to do more for less, so when you go to bed and you spend 30 of your life there, at least you should, you need quality sleep. You can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. Now, you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. You know, your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And they feature a 1-hour delivery window of your mattress to your home. And by the way, if you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress to your exact size, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress Factory and Showroom at 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them online at sanitarymattress.com or call them at 989-753-1757. Sanitary Mattress, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 1935.
You're great at protecting your
All right, we're back here on the Art Lewis Show, and we'll get back to our phones. Al is in Bay City. Al, good morning.
Yeah, morning, Arthur. I just wondered your comments on the story this morning about the Russians that sent their drones over to Poland.
Well, I don't know what to say about it because I don't know if it was accidental or on purpose. Either way, it's wrong. But I'm glad Poland took the action they took.
Yeah, well, just seems why would they send them over to Poland? Jeez.
Well, they could have overshot Ukraine. Who knows? I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities. But I mean, if you're going to ask me what I think he did, I think he's testing the waters and pushing the envelope. But I'm glad Poland got them all.
Yeah, well, I just hope it doesn't happen again.
Well, I just hope he doesn't keep expanding because that puts the world in a position of World War III. And I don't think anybody's interested in that. And nobody wants to see a nuclear weapon come out of the bunker either.
No. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Al. Bye-bye. Yeah, listen. I don't trust Putin as far as I can throw him. I don't fault the president for sitting down with him to try and negotiate. The old saying, know your enemies and all of that stuff. But once you determine that he can't be trusted, then you move on. And we should have learned that a long time ago. What do you expect? The guy was in the KGB, came out of the KGB. His style of doing things is nowhere like ours. Nowhere like ours. And at the same time, not only do we have to worry about him and his loose cannon, but China is making a lot of noises in the Pacific and in the straits between Taiwan and mainland China, intimidating our warships with their jets and doing all kinds of things that are risky behavior. And one of these days, something's going to happen. If it keeps up, you can count on the fact that one of these days, one of our ships is going to feel a real threat and unleash their weapons and shoot down one of those jets. And then what happens? Personally, I hope I'm right. I don't think China wants war. For a number of reasons, not the least of which, their economy is down. Their economy is hurting. Yeah, they had a big parade. Thousands and thousands of troops and equipment. All for the benefit of Putin and Kim Jong-un from North Korea. They put on a big show and all of that. That doesn't mean they have the best fighting force in the world. They have a lot of people, no doubt about it. And they sure know how to march. But I don't think there's a better fighting force in the world or a better technologically advanced fighting force in the world than the U.S. One of the charges I think that has to be placed on our U.S. military is they stay ahead of that technological game, and that they keep finding better and safer avenues. But as far as Putin goes, Putin is Putin. If you think you're going to change him, it's foolhardy. He's who he is. And the sanctions, up till now, haven't slowed him down any. The only way you can really get to him is cut off his lines of delivering oil and gas. Because that's how he's funding everything right now. Now, Europe has cut back. They need to cut him off. They need to find new avenues of fuel and resources. Because then you hit them in the pocketbook. Sanctions are great, but they affect certain people that are involved, and they really haven't done a total job on forcing him to the table. You cut off his energy supply sales, now you're doing something. Now he's going to sit up and take notice. Because just like after the dissolution of the USSR, when Russia didn't have any money and they were selling off their jet planes and selling rides in their jet planes to make money, they could find themselves there again if they don't have the energy sales, which are financing the government. Now, it's easy to sit here and say it. We can all sit here and say what we think should happen and how it should happen. Doesn't make it happen. Things you'd like to see happen, but you understand that it's not likely that it'll happen the way you want it to happen. All right. Lines open for you, 989-752-6111. That's the number to call.
As an employer, what would you do if you...
Lewis Show. One little technical notice. You may have noticed if you're listening on the FM that the signal quality is less than it normally is. That's because they're doing some work on the tower at Delta College where the WSGW FM antenna is located. And because of that, we've had to reduce power. Right now, we're running on about 10% power, and it may go off altogether. But hopefully, they say they should be done by noon. So that is why you may get a reduced signal on the FM. You can still listen on 790 AM. And Alexa and Siri and WSGW.com. You can hear us all those ways. But the FM right now, because they're working on the tower, is operating at a reduced power. Line's open for you. It's an open line hour, 989-752-6111. Pulled this article from USA Today this morning. This is a scary headline when you think about it. Americans are drowning in auto loan delinquencies, says Congress needs to fix it, according to the report. It's based on the growing cost to buy and maintain a car, plus inflation and tariffs, leading to rising auto loan defaults. And what really shocked me, I went on to read, the average vehicle sells for nearly $50,000, and almost 20% of new car buyers are paying $1,000 or more a month. Nearly 1 in 5 new car buyers in the first quarter of 2025 has a loan that's at least 7 years long. Used car prices have risen 6.3% over a year in June of 2025, and that according to the Consumer Federation of America. And they are sending a report to members of Congress today calling for an end to what they call exploitive practices, including interest rate kickbacks, where dealers and lenders conspire to secretly inflate interest rates and share the profits gleaned from consumer overpayment. Right now, Americans owe more than $1.66 trillion with a T, $trillion in auto debt. And it's happening at a time when the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and the Federal Trade Commission have taken significant steps back from oversight and enforcement of predatory practices. So it's going to be interesting to see where this leads. Because in hard financial times, all of a sudden, bankruptcies start skyrocketing. And it will also have another effect. It will drive down the price of used cars because the market will be flooded. If they have to repossess lots of automobiles, all of a sudden they become available in the marketplace and the price of used cars goes down. And actually right now they are saying that the auto market, both new car and used car prices, are beginning to decline. Now, on top of $1,000 payments a month, you've got repair bills, routine maintenance bills. That automobile is becoming a very expensive part of your life. All right, let's back to our phones this morning. Randy is in Saginaw. Randy, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, I got a question, and the news doesn't seem to ask that question, but does Donald Trump have any plans to go in? You look up the 3 of the most violent crime cities are in, New Orleans, Louisiana, which is all red, Republican trifecta. They own both the governorship and both chambers. Memphis, Tennessee, same thing, trifecta, Republican. St. Louis, Missouri, Republican dominates the state. And
yeah, they dominate. They dominate the state. They don't dominate the city, though.
No, but They can pass state laws. They can enact different things within the state.
Yeah, they can, but they
is
haven't.
he talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I hear
they
you.
haven't. But has Trump even thought of going into these? I mean, these are three of the top
I've heard
five.
him. I thought I heard New Orleans get mentioned because, and he's saying any city, but if you prioritize it, Chicago has to be on the top. They have to be. They have the highest murder rate. It's out of hand, and they don't seem to be doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And there are a number of cities like that. Well, I don't care whether they're blue or red. We need to deal with crime. We need to reduce crime. And if we have a way of doing it that can be done quickly and efficiently, I'm all for it. I don't care. I don't care who's running the city.
Yeah, I agree with you. But when they talk about cutting federal dollars to take care of that,
well, it's more local than federal. I have not seen anything that says they're going to cut law enforcement dollars. Maybe I've missed it.
They've cut a lot of federal aid to states.
They've cut a lot of federal aid to states in lots of ways. The question is how much of it. The one question I have is how much of it was wasteful anyway, and how much of it was, how much meat did you take rather than just the fat. But as far as I know, at least I haven't heard that they've cut back anything that has to do with law enforcement. But I could be wrong. And the other side of that is we haven't seen the budget.
Well, I think Gavin Newsom's trying to stand up to Donald Trump in a different way. I guess if I was governor of California, I'd say, let's just keep our federal dollars right here. If you want to sit here and withhold dollars to our state because we don't have a curriculum or something that you don't like, then we'll just keep our federal dollars in the state. We won't send our federal dollars to federal government. We'll take care of our own state.
Yeah, that won't work.
It's been proven over. Well, I know it won't work, but I mean, I know it won't work, but when you talk about federal dollars and the money that's sent to the federal government, there's more money sent from blue states to the federal government. They send more money to the federal government than they take in. Red states take more money from the federal government than they give to the federal government. When you look at that aspect of it, and then you're sitting there holding back federal dollars to these states because they don't either have a curriculum that you like, or they don't have, there's something that you don't like. It's extortion. It's the same thing that he did to Ukraine.
That's politics. And listen, every administration does it. Let's not just lay this on one administration. They're all guilty of it. It's politics today, and it's unfortunate. But it's politics. It's politics. We're just seeing the ugly head of it right now, but it happens all the time.
I understand it's politics, but it's gotten, you got to admit that it's gotten so dirty since Trump has been in office. I mean, just the other day, even on the news, when they have in the news, and he calls him Gavin Newsom all over again, right in front of the world. I mean, we teach our kids in school.
I've never liked his mouth, and I've said that many times. I like his policies. I don't like him.
We can't treat each other with respect anymore. I mean, it's just gotten so far out of hand.
Well, as long as you admit that it's both ways, as long as you admit both sides of play.
I do,
and
I do.
That's the problem, isn't it?
I had an argument this morning with a coworker, basically about the birthday card. Well, they shouldn't expose that anyway. And I said, well, why not? Well, that's going to expose prominent people. I said, I don't care. I don't care if it exposes Clinton. I don't care if it exposes Obama. I don't care. I mean, someone's got to be held accountable. If you look at, so we shouldn't look into anything like that. If we have a girl down the road that she's been sex trafficked, we shouldn't look into that, because
absolutely.
It might be the governor of the Michigan, or it might be like the president of Saginaw Valley. Prominent people in our community.
I'll caution you of one thing. Remember that list, if it ever comes out as to who was involved with Epstein and all of that, becomes guilt by association, whether you're guilty or not. That's not exactly
Then-
fair
then-
either.
Then we'll never get to the bottom of it.
Well, we probably never will.
Because the water's so much.